Rachel Zegler just went through every actor's worst nightmare, sitting in a nearly empty movie theater, watching her own film flop. Not even cheap ticket deals on Discount Tuesday could help. Her new version of Snow White, which had a woke twist, didn't just do badly, it completely disappeared from the box office. On March 25, 2025, Rachel, who's 23, went to see the movie with a few close friends: Ela Mason, Jorge Mason, Remy, and Maria Isabel Demison. The theater was so empty it looked like a ghost town. According to Ila's Instagram stories, the group was trying to stay upbeat, but it was pretty awkward. Ela screamed Rachel's name when it showed on screen, and Rachel laughed and clapped for herself, trying to keep things fun. It's not clear if they rented out the whole theater or if it was just that empty. Either way, they tried to have fun by doing a popular social media trend. They asked a theater worker, "2 tickets, please?" When he asked, "For which movie?" the camera showed them holding Snow White popcorn and cups, looking totally embarrassed.
Please?
For which movie?
As if the night couldn't get more awkward, Zegler was seen holding a bouquet of flowers, probably a pity gift from her friends since the box office wasn't giving out any wins. She may have played Snow White, but the only thing this movie is kissing is rock bottom. It made just $3.5 million during Thursday previews and only $43 million on opening weekend. Compared to The Little Mermaid remake, which opened with $95 million, this was a major flop. Even Dumbo? Yes, Dumbo made about the same but had a much smaller budget. And speaking of budgets, this version of Snow White cost over $250 million to make. And that's before marketing. Now, theaters are half empty, critics are tearing it apart, and social media is filled with photos of nearly empty theaters and lonely audience members sitting by themselves. People are even joking about starting a GoFundMe to help Disney recover from the loss. To make things worse, an old video of Zegler started going viral again. In it, she confidently says that people would line up to see her movies. But now, the only thing piling up are the box office receipts, and they all show that Snow White is a royal disaster.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Fast forward to real life, and the only thing lining up is the internet, ready to roast her. Theaters across the country were nearly empty, ticket sales were terrible, and critics didn't hold back. One person summed it up. Welcome back to reality, princess. Snow White was a complete flop. Ian Miles Chong added to the buzz by reposting the old clip on X, reminding everyone that Snow White is now officially Disney's worst-performing live-action remake in decades.
This is really a bad movie, and I apologize to Walt Disney himself. I'm sorry.
Turns out Snow White wasn't the only thing crashing. So was Rachel Zegler's relationship with Disney and her co-star Gal Gadot. A bombshell report from Variety just exposed all the behind-the-scenes drama surrounding Disney's latest flop. And yep, Zegler was right in the middle of it. According to anonymous insiders close to Disney, execs were already nervous about Zegler's public comments criticizing the original Snow White. But instead of stepping in, they stayed silent. Then things really went off the rails. At Disney's D23 event, Zegler hit the stage full of charm and smiles. But after the event, she posted a thank you message that ended with a bold political statement. That's when the panic really kicked in. Disney execs were stunned. Their $270 million fairy tale had suddenly turned into a political controversy, and the studio scrambled to control the damage.
Behind the scenes, you guys know as well as I do that those executives like Spielberg are looking at that, saying, Rachel Zegler can F right off.
Now it looks like Snow White wasn't the only thing crashing. So was Rachel Zegler's relationship with just about everyone involved in the film. Jonah Platt, son of Snow White producer Mark Platt, didn't hold back. In a now-deleted Instagram comment, reported by Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, and People, Jonah slammed Zegler for hurting the movie's chances at success. He revealed that his dad had to fly out in person to confront Zegler over her decision to bring politics into the film's press tour. This is called adult responsibility and accountability. Jonah wrote, adding that her actions clearly damaged the movie. Even after that meeting, Zegler kept her controversial posts up for a while, ignoring Disney's panic behind the scenes. Things between Zegler and co-star Gal Gadot also started to unravel. While they seemed friendly during filming, everything got awkward before the movie's release. The two appeared stiff during their Oscars presentation in 2025, and Zegler later made a shady comment online, referring to Gadot as a professional pageant queen. Fans and insiders both saw it as a dig, but there was a deeper divide. Zegler and Gadot reportedly clashed over politics. Zegler posted several pro-Palestine messages during a tense time globally. Gadot, who's from Israel and served in the Israeli army, became a target of online threats. The backlash got so serious that Disney had to pay for extra security for Gadot and her family. One insider explained, Rachel didn't understand the ripple effect. On the film, on Gal, on everything. And that wasn't the end of it. The film was already burning through its $270 million budget, including expensive reshoots and Ziegler's constant controversies. But the final straw came after the US presidential election. Zegler posted on Instagram, "May Trump's supporters never know peace." That sent Disney into full meltdown mode. She had just alienated a huge chunk of the audience. In one last attempt to salvage the situation, producer Mark Platt flew out twice to meet with Zegler. Eventually, she agreed to work with a Disney-paid social media consultant to approve all her posts before the movie's release on March 21st. But the drama didn't stop there. Just a day before the movie's release, Zegler posted a glowing tribute on Instagram about her time filming Snow White, calling it life-changing and praising the crew. One big name was missing though, Gal Gadot. No mention, no photos. Fans immediately noticed the snub, especially after everything else that had gone down between them. Maybe it was an accident, but with the Oscar shade and the backstage tension, most people saw it as one more not-so-subtle dig. And if all that controversy wasn't enough, the casting of Zegler as Snow White sparked backlash from the start. Some critics didn't like the idea of a Latina actress playing the traditionally pale-skinned princess. Similar to how Halle Bailey faced criticism for playing Ariel in The Little Mermaid, Zegler responded strongly. In a since-deleted post, she wrote, "Yes, I am Snow White. No, I'm not bleaching my skin for the role." She also slammed her critics as losers obsessed with the bloodline purity of a cartoon princess, according to the Wall Street Journal. That didn't exactly help calm things down. In a 2022 interview with Variety, Zegler admitted she became a trending topic because of angry people online. And in another interview with Extra, she even criticized the original 1937 Snow White, calling it weird for focusing on a love story with a guy who literally stalks her. All in all, between the backlash, the behind-the-scenes drama, and Rachel Zegler's controversial takes, Disney's Snow White never had a fairy tale shot, and the box office results reflect that.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Disney had already said they planned to modernize the Snow White remake, but the way Rachel Zegler talked about it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Her comments made it sound like she was dismissing the original film's famous love story. What really set people off was when she said they were taking a different approach with the story. Critics felt like she was bashing the very movie she was meant to honor. Fans didn't hold back. Many said if she disliked the original so much, why even take the role? One person on X summed it up. If you hate the story so much, why take the role? And just when things couldn't get messier, the controversy around Snow White wasn't just about Zegler. It ran even deeper. Back in 2022, Game of Thrones star Peter Dinklage called out Disney for how they were handling the Seven Dwarfs. On Mark Maron's WTF podcast, he criticized the studio for celebrating the casting of a Latina Snow White while still sticking to what he saw as a backward portrayal of dwarfs. He called the whole thing hypocritical, and a lot of people agreed. The contradiction didn't sit well with him, or with many others.
You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward
Oh,
story of seven dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
He questioned how a studio could promote progressiveness by casting a Latina actress as Snow White, while still sticking to what he saw as a tired and outdated stereotype: seven dwarfs living together in a cave. His blunt take lit up the internet, sparking a major debate. Not long after, even Disney legend and voice actor Brad Weeman, known for voicing Grumpy in recent projects, chimed in, adding his thoughts to the growing controversy. He acknowledged the importance of inclusion, but expressed concern that the changes were being made in a way that felt performative or disconnected from the original story's heart. The whole situation turned into a bigger conversation about how far is too far when it comes to reimagining classic tales, and whether Disney was trying to be woke without fully thinking it through.
You're replacing jobs that people could have as little people. Okay. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it's for dwarfs. You know?
Some people praised Peter Dinklage for calling out what they saw as Disney's selective progress, being inclusive in one area while clinging to outdated tropes in another. But others pushed back, saying his comments could end up erasing roles for actors with dwarfism. The debate got loud, and Disney clearly noticed. The very next day, Disney rushed to do damage control. They released a statement saying they were taking a different approach to the Seven Dwarfs and were consulting with members of the dwarfism community. That different approach? Scrapping the classic Seven Dwarfs entirely and replacing them with CGI characters. Fans weren't impressed. The reaction online was immediate and harsh. Disney's photorealistic CGI dwarfs were called lifeless, creepy, and just plain off. What was meant to be a modern update ended up feeling like another misstep, and yet another reason the remake failed to win over audiences.
That is totally uplifting and the right way to be woke, Link, when you actually cancel the roles for the marginalized population, because just putting them on screen is somehow racist.
Instead of bringing the original charm and magic to life, Disney's CGI dwarfs ended up looking stiff, unnatural, and honestly, just plain weird. What should have been a nostalgic update quickly became another point of controversy. And just like that, another chapter in the Snow White saga turned into a lightning rod for debate. But with all the drama swirling, the big question was, would Disney still roll out the red carpet or quietly try to bury the mess? Turns out, they chose the quiet route. According to Variety, Disney ditched the usual glitzy premiere. Instead, they hosted a low-key pre-party on March 15th, followed by a quiet screening at Hollywood's El Capitan Theatre. Even the European premiere was toned way down. It didn't even happen in London's famous Leicester Square. Instead, it was held at a castle in northern Spain, almost in secret. So what does all this point to? A lack of confidence? Fear of more backlash? Or maybe just a quiet admission that the film wasn't going to live up to the hype? Whatever the reason, one thing's clear. Snow White wasn't just a fairy tale, it became a full-blown cautionary tale. With a muted premiere, non-stop controversy, and box office numbers that couldn't justify a $270 million budget, the film flopped hard. But how did Disney get it so wrong? Let us know in the comments what you think about the PR nightmare. That was Snow White. And if you're hungry for more behind-the-scenes drama, this next video is where you need to go.